All right, guys, the answer is this is a more important game for Dallas. And the reason is, you're right, no one thinks Washington's going to win the division or make much noise in the playoffs. Dallas last year was a powerhouse, and it looked like they could really do something. And even in the playoffs, Dak almost brings them back against Aaron Rodgers, so they look poised. And then they lost 40% of their offensive line in the offseason. They haven't looked the same until last week. All of a sudden, Zeke's back, and the offensive line looks good again. And the reason it's so pivotal for Dallas right now is because even with all that said, it didn't matter because Philadelphia has been the class of the NFC so far this season. They were elite when they had their O-line intact last year. They're at least trending that way. They've been elite this year with an O-line mainly intact. And then they just lost Jason Peters. If they thought it was tough without Lane Johnson last year, Jason Peters, most important guy in that offensive line, one of the best offensive tackles in the game. They lost him for the season. So now there's an opportunity for Dallas because you're right, Darren, against San Francisco, what are you going to really find out? But for the rest of the year, the Eagles suddenly have a giant question mark. And to me, on paper, they suddenly look vulnerable. Can Dallas reassert themselves given the opening that the Eagles have given them? Yes or no? So to me, this is all about Dallas. What does the O-line look like? What does Zeke look like running behind it? Can they reestablish what they had last year against Washington and maybe take over from Philadelphia going forward because it would set them up to as the class of the NFC East?